Hello and welcome to this video in which we will be discussing the answer key to the English language. The first paper of ICSE class 10 students. Was quite amused by what some of my students said. One of them said, "Aapne to paper leak kar diya." In fact, many of the questions were actually what we had discussed as part of our course. So in that sense, it was a big advantage to many of the students. So let's get started without wasting any time. This is the paper that you have in front of you. Write an original short story in which two children and their school teacher are the main characters. Pretty easy if you have practiced it. जिन्होंने भी ओरिजिनल ऐसे अटेम्प्ट किया है, if you have practiced constructing a story with three characters, they would have been able to do this. And these are very simple characters, because we had done it with auto rickshaw driver and a customer, with a bully and a dog and a photographer, three characters. And if you are able to work out the interplay, you would find this very easy. The narrative was a little surprising because this was not a typical narrative essay. You were asked to imagine something, not narrate something. So imagine a situation where you get an opportunity to change one thing in your school. What it would be, what would it be, why would you want to change it, and how would you bring about the change? Some students have written about making digital classrooms. Some students have written about improvements in the library, better playground facilities. So all that is fine, more greenery. So if you are able to kind of identify each one of those parts and answer the the three questions: what would you like to change, why would you like to change, and how would you change it? If you have been able to kind of talk about all the three elements, you would be able to score good marks. School examinations do not test intelligence. We had done pretty much the same topic as part of our test assignments. So many of the students had actually prepared this topic well as part of the many assignments that we had done. You are a regular visitor to your school library. Describe your library, give details of the familiar sites. What do you see and feel as different students come in and check out the books? Why is this place so important, right? So library is again something. So you realize everything, very surprisingly, is all about school. The original story is about school. The narrative or imagination story is about school. The argumentative is about school. And the visitor to the library again about your school. So this is a little surprising that everything is about the school atmosphere this year. Okay. We had done library as part of the formal letters. So again, something students would have been able to pick up things from that. This picture composition, incidentally, we had done last year as part of our assignments, and I told them that will be a child. But what we had done this year was to kind of have a story around a dog being rescued, right? So even from there, some of the elements could have been used: a school-going child rescuing and taking care of a stray dog. Okay. As far as the letters are concerned, we had done the same topic as part of a descriptive essay, right? That what do you miss about your old house, right? And you write a letter to your grandmother in this case. The formal letter, many of you have attempted it. They have spoken about Merchant of Venice, talking about the book, what is to be there in the film, and how many students would be able to attend the showing, screening if the film is shown at the nearby theater. Also, the fact that the board exams are near and visual memory plays an important role to understand a complicated play like The Merchant of Venice. So if you have written all those elements, you would get full marks there. Okay. Remedial classes, again, we had done pretty much simple. Bit of confusion about what should be the date range. Ideally, if you had put 1, 2, or 3 days, that should be fine enough. Ideally 2 and 3 days would be fine because it says remedial classes for classes 9 and 10. So it cannot be obviously a one-day affair, though I don't think it should be such a problem, but ideally 2 or 3 days would be preferable in a notice and an email like this. Okay, let's come to the comprehension. Pretty simple, and again involving the school. Remedial classes involving the school. Formal letter again involving a school syllabus thing. So too many things around the school atmosphere this time for the class 10 paper. The word meanings. This is a story by Ruskin Bond. The word meaning summoned would mean be ordered. That's the closest of the three, because it's not totaled, it's not requested, it's not shout, right? let me just read it again just to be on the safer side. That huge bell never stopped ringing. It got out of bed. It summoned us. Yeah, it ordered us. It cannot be requested. Aversion means hatred. It's not fear. It's not politeness. It is not uh, creation. He had an aversion to this. Yeah, hatred. Yeah. Restored, help, no. Returned, yes. Permit, no. Victory, no. So B. Okay. Then pretty much simple. I mean, Ruskin Bond, I mean, Indian authors actually quite easy to kind of deal with. Okay, now let's move to the tenses. In the morning, they thought of a plan. They made themselves look dirty with grease and dirt. Then they went to the dean and said, sorry, that they had gone out to a wedding last night. They had gone out to a wedding last night, and on their way back, the tire of their car burst, and they had to push the car all the way back. The dean thought for a minute and said that they could have the retest after 3 days. They thanked him. They agreed as they had prepared well, but they got a rude shock. Fill in the blanks with appropriate words. A bird in hand is worth two in the bush. It's a proverb. The second one, the boy is crazy about football, would be the most correct option. There are many of you who have written for football. Now, if you look at the dictionary meaning, okay, it says very enthusiastically fond of someone or something. So it's up to the council whether they want to consider for as well. About is definitely correct, but for also cannot be dismissed as completely incorrect. Okay, because you do say that, you know, he's crazy for football, but about, as I said, is the most correct option. She was tired of fighting, OF, and struggling all the time. He opted out of the race. We borrowed the bikes from our uncle. The police station is to the right. Okay, now some of you have written on the right. Now it depends on what is the thing. Now, if it's a photograph, if someone is showing you a photograph of a police station, then you will say, oh, the police station is on the right as far as the photograph is concerned. But when you are saying, oh, you go ahead, the police station is to the right, that's when you say to the right. So here, since it does not give any indication about a photograph or anything, it would seem that the police station is to the right would be the correct one. I looked at the stars through the telescope. There was an accident at the crossroads. Now let's come to join the sentences. The first one, he jumped up, he ran away. The correct option is B, jumping up, he ran away. The second one, he has failed many times, still he hopes to succeed. The correct one is 3, in spite of many failures, he hopes to succeed. The third one, do not be a jeweler, do not be a goldsmith. The correct option is A, be neither a jeweler nor a goldsmith. Okay. Fourth one, a cottager and his wife had a hen. The hen laid an egg every day. Now here students have made a mistake between B and D. The correct one is D because we are talking about a hen. Okay. So a cottager and his wife had a hen which laid an egg every day. Okay. Let's finally move to the transformation. He said to me, I don't believe you. The correct option is B. He said that he did not believe me. Didn't believe me. The second one, some boys were helping the wounded man. Okay. The correct option is C. The wounded man was being helped by some boys. Third, he's as wise as Solomon. You have to use wiser. The correct one is Solomon was not wiser than he is, because you have to understand the sentence. जो मैं videos में बार-बार बता रहा था. You need to understand what is being said, that he is as wise. So Solomon and he are both equally wise. So that means Solomon is not more wise or wiser than he is. Fourth one, if the boys do not reach the school on time, they will be punished. Unless the boys reach the school on time, they will be punished. Fourth, D. Fifth, as soon as he reaches home, his friends call him. Hardly does he reach home when his friends call him. Sixth one, she's weak, but she's courageous. Sixth, B. Despite being weak, she's courageous. We will never forget what we saw. Seventh, D. Never will we forget what we saw. Last one. Jaswant's grandfather is too old to take up this job. B. Jaswant's grandfather is so old that he cannot take up this job. You cannot write A. You're talking about his position, that he is not in a position to take up this job. Not could not. It's not in the past tense. So he's so old that he cannot take up this job. So with that, we come to the end of the answer key of the English language paper. I hope most of you have done well. There are a few areas where students have made some mistakes, but otherwise, by and large, I would say this was a pretty easy paper. And I wish you all the best for the English literature. There is a strategy video coming up. There is also another session on MOV, another one on treasure trove stories also coming up on Study with Sudhir. So do look out for that. Thank you very much. All the best.